If you're fortunate enough not to be up to date on the happenings of TikTok, let me get you up to speed. In the last month or so, there has been an active discussion online that has been provoked by the release of a song called Nanavile Voice of the Island by Pasan Liyanage, Chetana Ketagoda, and Jay Prince. Absolute banger. Go listen to it if you haven't already. So in this song, Jay Prince has a rap verse that he does. One line in particular has caught the attention of a lot of people online. Beautiful women that come with the season, dressed in a sari, she might be the reason. Call her my killer, the skin tone is cinnamon. And it goes on and on like this. Again, bars. But this has now sparked a very controversial debate online. So, as it is with social media, people extracted this little line, this little part of the song that Jay Prince does, and they started posting videos online celebrating their Sri Lankan heritage and cinnamon skin. And it quickly became a trend, especially on TikTok. Now, the actual issue began when people who have been pretty outspoken about their use of bleaching cream, whitening creams, and like fairness products started participating in this cinnamon skin trend. And people had a lot to say about this. Some were saying how they shouldn't be participating in this trend because of their inclination towards using whitening products, and then claiming cinnamon skin, which was like in direct contradiction with everything they supposedly stand for. Some were sharing their stories about how using these creams actually helped them to love themselves better and stop the bullying that they were receiving. Some were talking about the harmful effects of actually using these products and how we should love ourselves just the way we are, while others went back to the original source of the problem, which finds its foundations in colonialism. Now, prior to this whole situation, I was blissfully unaware of the fact that there is a specific demographic online, women in particular, that are very vocal about their usage at one point or current usage of these whitening products, bleaching creams, and things like that. And whether they intend to or not kind of contribute towards the normalizing of the usage of these types of products, especially with young girls and guys, I'm assuming as well. Now, I never be in someone else's comment section telling them what they can and cannot post on social media, because there is no brownness meter that tells you, oh, okay, no, you're not brown enough, or you're just brown enough to participate in this trend. But it does make me think that there is a sort of unfortunate undertone of hypocrisy to it all. And the reality of the internet is that sometimes it's never that serious. People like a song, they'll lip sync to it, they'll post a video about it, and then they'll switch off their phone and call it a day. And I agree, it shouldn't have to be deeper than that sometimes. But what I do find interesting is the conversation this whole thing is starting to bring up. And it's a conversation that dates way back and that is deeply, deeply rooted in our culture, and often a lot of South Asian cultures, which has contributed to a lot of toxic beauty standards today. I've even made videos about this in the past because it is a conversation I'm very passionate about and feel very strongly towards. And the first question we need to ask ourselves is, where does this conflict come from? The short answer is the nosy aunt that seems to think the color of your skin is any of their business. And the long answer is every single one of their aunts that made them feel that way. Point being, it's a generational issue, one that dates way back to colonialism. And I go really in depth about this in my previous video. So if you are interested in a little crash course on this whole subject, do watch that video because the details are truly fascinating. But in essence, let me break it down for you. Fair skin once was a reflection of high society because of foreign rule, yes, and also you weren't out in the sun working all day. This privilege was then translated into something of much desire and thus yearned for. Eventually, this desire somehow ended up signifying beauty. So, this phenomena of something sort of equating to one thing and then meaning something else over time is called the second order signification. And there's a lot of people that have theorized about this phenomena. Again, watch the video for more details. It's fascinating. This has become a toxic beauty standard today. And I think we've come a long way as a society in Sri Lanka in terms of colorism. But the reality is that it is a very deeply rooted generational issue, and people don't even realize how much it affects the way they see not just others, but also how they see themselves. The biggest problem I have with it is that it has taught a generation of young women and also men that they should not be happy or content with the skin that they've been born with. Which is why a part of me actually sympathizes with this group of people that have convinced themselves that they need to be using fairness creams or bleaching creams, because they have grown up in environments that have ridiculed them for the color of their skin, and nobody should have to go through that. We've all heard that one-off auntie that makes an unsolicited comment about how dark you've gotten, or you need to try this product that'll help you get fairer. I cannot imagine growing up in environments that cultivate that sort of thought processes. Because it's so normal in certain circles and in certain households to speak in a manner that affirms this belief that to be dark skinned is to be less than. It is very much a generational issue that goes way beyond a TikTok trend. And of course, social media has contributed so much to this issue, and I talk a lot about that in that previous video. But just for now, I kind of want to spotlight the way this affects an individual. And at the core of this issue is the way these individuals look at themselves and esteem themselves and relate their self value to how dark or fair they are. Often a result of their circumstances, but that is what we need to change. I think in my family, that pattern was most evidently broken with the marriage between my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandmother happened to be really, really fair, but for all of the reasons my grandfather felt for her, he never credited her fairness as one of those reasons. So that was not something that was cultivated in their household. So their kids never spoke that way. Then there's four of them. And so the kids that they had, which is me and my cousins, never heard these conversations growing up in our houses. So my mother never made comments on my skin when I came home burnt to a crisp. As long as my skin was healthy, that was all my parents cared about. So you can imagine my immense surprise and also confusion when the occasional auntie or uncle, mostly aunties, made comments that exposed the fact that they equated fairness to beauty. My mind could just not comprehend that fact. It still can't, because honestly, I prefer being dark because the way I grew up was under the sun, and our skin was meant to soak up the sun, not artificially counteract it. And I am stumped even to this day, when I hear guys and girls say that they want a fair partner, specifically above all other requirements for what they look for in a relationship, you could sit me down for hours, tie me to a chair, and torture me with all sorts of this type of propaganda, and it would still make no sense to me. I promise you that. And this brings us to another major contributing factor towards this issue, especially in the 21st century. And that is relationships. Now, this could just be my personal experience, but I doubt that because I've seen it too many times. I've seen my friends experience it and witness it far too many times for it to be a random coincidence. Also, this fact was brought up in this online discourse when this whole issue went down. And I think it's a really interesting point. As long as there is a demand for fair skin, there will always be a need for supply. Essentially, what that means is as long as there's people that value fair skin over other factors that contribute towards a relationship, there are always going to be people that desire to have fair skin in attempt to give them the value that they think they lack due to another person's absurd preferences. And of course, Sri Lanka is so diverse, and that's one of the beautiful things about it. We have people of different complexions, and this is by no means an attempt to pit one of them against the other or say one is more desirable than the other. Not at all. But there is a group of people, for some reason, who desire a fair skinned partner. And this is like non negotiable to them, by the way. When I was younger, I mostly saw this from guys. But as I've grown, unfortunately, I've seen girls share a similar opinion. People straight up say that they're looking for a fair partner in the name of personal preference. And I agree, you 100% need to be attracted physically to the person that you're dating. But I also know that physical attraction alone is not enough to sustain a long term successful relationship. Because to put skin color as a box to be checked off your little list of requirements for dating someone seems wild, crazy, toxic for sure. Because no relationship that is founded upon the color of your skin is one that is set up to be a successful or purposeful one. So if you are someone that feels uncomfortable in the color of your skin, or you wish you were a little bit fairer, or even if you wish you were a little bit darker, which is not the focus of this issue, or you've dated someone that makes you feel that way, or you're interested in someone that you know shares the same sentiment, run. Do not waste your time, because you cannot prove your worth to someone that doesn't understand that beauty is not skin deep. Trust me, there's someone out there that will celebrate and love you for you and also the color of your skin. Like, these are not issues. These should be issues. So if you see these signs early, especially in a relationship, don't waste your time investing into it. Don't wait until it's too late and you're living with a partner that makes you feel less than for the rest of your life. Because your value does not come from your complexion. It comes from your inner man and what you have to offer that comes from the inside, and no amount of fairness creams or bleaching creams are going to compensate for that. So please, do not subject yourself to these toxic beauty standards, regardless of whether it's coming from the aunt you see at your next function or the guy you think is cute. So, with this whole online debate that was going on, I heard a lot of people through the comments sharing their stories and kind of supporting this argument that people defend the use of fairness creams, saying that after getting fair using these products, that they feel better about themselves or they warded off the bullies. And I can understand where you might begin to think that way, but just because something feels good in the moment might not mean that it actually is good for you. It might not be good for you, especially in the long term. And I'm not just talking about the harmful side effects that people have listed out over the years and years of research that come from these whitening and bleaching products. Ultimately, what you're dealing with here is a self esteem issue. You don't need a whitening cream. You need a reality check. The reality that you have been wonderfully and uniquely created by God. One of my favorite verses, I think I say that about all the verses I bring up. Psalms 139, a very popular verse, verses 13 to 15, and I'd like to put it into context for you. It says, "For you formed me in my innermost parts, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I will give thanks and praise to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being formed in secret, and intricately and skillfully formed, as if embroidered with many colors, in the depths of the earth." This is the AMP version, and it's so good. Not only have you been intricately and skillfully formed, you have been fearfully made. You've been made to be revered by reason of the God that created you. You cannot take that lightly, because that is applicable to your soul, your spirit, and your body. You have been made in the image of God. You look like God. So why are you trying to distort that even a little bit? There is nothing on earth that comes closer to the beauty that you watching me right now emulate. And I cannot stress how much you need to know that. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know how much you're worth and where your value comes from, the world is going to try and convince you that you're something you're not. And in a day and age like today, it is so crucial to know your true value and ensure that the generation that comes after you knows that as a hard fact. It is your responsibility, it is my responsibility to break the cycle of these toxic beauty standards. You be the first person to take that stand in your generation if no one has done it yet. And it all starts with learning to love the body you've been born in, the same unconditional way that God loves you in that body. It's the best reference point.